So here are the arteries of the abdomen that we're supposed to learn. The most important one is the abdominal aorta. That's the big red one here that's next to the inferior vena cava. And it ends right here about where the cat's belly button would be. And it really extends. If we pull all of this over, so I'm leaning everything over. This is still it wrapped around back here, going all the way up, and there's a little, I'm pulling on it so it's bent here. But then it continues right here. This is still the aorta, goes all the way up behind and all the way up behind to the heart. Okay, so that whole thing is the aorta. But what we're going to focus on is the chunk that is down here in the abdomen. All right? The first branch in the abdomen that comes off is called the celiac. So actually, sometimes you can see it from this view down here, and we can kind of see a little bit of it down in here, but it's easier sometimes to roll the whole intestines over. So this branch right here, remember this is the aorta. It's kind of curved here because I'm pulling on it, but this is the celiac artery, and the celiac artery is important because it splits into the, it takes all the blood to the liver, to the spleen and the stomach. So the hepatic, gastric, and splenic arteries all come off of this. You can kind of see some of those branches as we kind of fold stuff back and out of the way. It comes up here and splits to all these other spots. But this is really the part you got to know is right here, this trunk of it is called the celiac artery. Okay? The next one down here is the superior mesenteric artery, which goes right into the intestines. And you can kind of see that. We saw that right with the hepatic portal stuff down on the other side, but it flows right in there. Okay? The next one we're supposed to see is the Iliolumbar, which is right on the back side here. Remember, this is the adrenal gland. Here's the Iliolumbar vein, and the Iliolumbar artery kind of attaches on the back side to it, kind of flows in right here behind it, and then out to the wall. And there's not a lot of red in this particular cat, but it goes right next to the blue going across. The renal goes into the kidney, and the best way to see that is if you flip the kidney over. And then you can see the renal arteries, these two. There's actually two of them in here, which is a weird kind of setup, but we got two renal arteries going into this kidney. Usually there's just the one, and there'd be a matching one on the other side that we're not going to mess with. The next one down would be the genital. So the genital veins, remember, come off way up high. Remember, they do this because everybody starts off with the testes that are way down at the end here. Start off kind of as ovaries until testosterone is produced, so they usually go right out here to the ovaries, and then those arteries and veins have to grow along with it. So the blue is the vein, but the artery comes off this aorta right here, and the other side comes off right here, and then they join up with the vein and they run all the way down to the testicles. Next one on your list is the Iliolumbar, same spot as the vein, the red and blue in the lower back, the artery and the vein, Iliolumbar artery and vein. The external iliac is this branch that goes from here to all the way down to here. So it's this section here. It's called the external iliac. This little piece here is called the internal. It's not one you have to know. This is the external iliac. And then after this branching, you can see how it's tied down right here. So this marks the end of the external iliac and the beginning of the femoral. So the femoral goes from here to here, and then it gets other names as it goes further down. So you have the abdominal aorta, then external iliac, which then it's tied down, and now it becomes the femoral from here to here, and then it gets other names as you go further on down. And that's it.